Hey Taurus, welcome to my channel. I hope you're all well. I'm kicking off the love reading series with you, Taurus. Being a little bit selfish since I'm a Taurus sun. But this is going to be a love reading for Taurus, strong placements. If you're not sure where your placements are, there's a link in the description box where you can get a free birth chart analysis, which is quite neat. So let's see what's going on for you in the love department, Taurus. Sure, the energy has been heavy for me in the last few days, releasing a lot of things, unlearning a lot of things, deconstructing, reconstructing, and just a lot of deep realizations about myself. So I don't know if that resonates for anyone, but I just felt to share. So Taurus, at the end of this reading, I'm also going to be using the White Rose guidance cards for messages from your person. I find that usually if we're watching tarot about a relationship, more than 80% of the time, it's not going according to plan, or, there's some clarity that you're seeking that is not being provided by your person. So let's see what the cards have to say for you today, Taurus. They just told me to use my other deck. Okay, this deck wants to talk to you today, Taurus. Let's see. Okay, for the sign of Taurus, what is going on in the love department? Please and thank you, Spirit. 6 of Cups. Missing someone, Taurus. Reminiscing. This feels like a deep connection. 6 of Cups. I'm just going to pull all the cards that want to come through, and then we'll unpack it. Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is the player of the tarot. Sagittarius card. You could be dealing with a Sagittarius. You don't have to be. But the Knight of Wands is very impulsive, takes action very quickly, is the fire card of all the knights. And yeah, is known as the player boy. But let's see what else comes out. Sorry, Knight of Wands, but Knight of Cups. Whoa, Taurus. What is going on here? Okay. 8 of Cups. Walking away from something towards your wish fulfillment, leaving behind an emotional drain. And 4 of Swords, healing. The bottom of the deck, the 2 of Wands, so choosing a different direction, making a different choice this time, Taurus. Phew. I just want to clarify something, Taurus, here, why the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Cups is here. It feels like, well, let me just see whether it feels like words were said, because that's also what the Knight of Wands is, right? He doesn't really think, and I'm saying he because it's represented by a masculine energy, but usually when the Knight of Wands comes in, as I mentioned before, it's very impulsive. It's an energy that doesn't really think before it says something. And if any of you connect with Sagittarius, you will know, and this is a card of Sagittarius, that they can be very blunt and direct and have remorse for that afterwards. But in the heat of emotion, because this is a fire card, sometimes, words can be said. And I'm feeling that's the energy that I'm getting, because having the Knight of Cups follow that, the Knight of Cups is an apology. The Knight of Cups is a gesture of romance. The Knight of Cups is, here's my offering. I came in hot. That's exactly what the Knight of Wands is. Coming in hot and then reflecting afterwards with the Cups energy, which is emotional energy. The Knight of Cups is gentle, reflective. This could be the exact same person, or you could be making a choice to Taurus between two different people, where the one is very nurturing, you feel safe in their energy, your nervous system feels calm, you feel heard, you feel that you can express yourself without judgment, without fear. And the other energy is very unpredictable, is what I just heard. Unpredictable, which braces your nervous system. The movement is very quick. It's like there's a lot of back and forth energy. That's also the Knight of Wands energy. It's like back and forth, non-committal. They're in and then they're out. They're here and then they're gone. There could be some emotional baiting that happens with this person as well, given the Knight of Cups card. And then as soon as, that bait is taken, they're gone again. And you're kind of left missing, or kind of left wondering, what is actually going on here? And this might have been a recent interaction. This could be the pattern of the relationship that you're dealing with. But you're going back to the past and how this all began. And maybe the different cups, the different cycles, the Six of Cups here that you've experienced with this person. Every one of them, every one of those cycles, bringing healing with it, bringing deeper understanding, and trying to look at this relationship as a whole, but also feeling that it has come to completion because of the Eight of Cups energy here, Taurus. But let me just clarify, like I wanted to, why the Knight of Cups energy and the Knight of Wands energy is here with the Six of Cups, please. And thank you, Spirit. Four of Cups here. Oh man, Taurus. Okay. Four of Cups and Three of Swords. So the Four of Cups energy is a missed opportunity, Taurus. I think this heartbreak, whatever is coming through from this connection, from this relationship, is a realization that everything that you might have thought it was, that may have just been, the romantic side of you. I mean, we are ruled by Venus. So just looking at the whole relationship, how much of it you projected in your own hope of what it could be, in your own hope of what the potential of it could be. And I'm hearing that did not materialize. If you look at this cup, Taurus, and why I'm getting these messages, is the whole spectrum of the rainbow is in that cup. And she's physically turning away from it. It's like what you've gotten was not this beautiful rainbow spectrum and emotional fulfillment, but what you have received are these empty cups. And what I'm feeling is, Taurus, you pouring a lot of energy into this connection, a lot of consistency, a lot of love, a lot of nurturing, a lot of giving. When Taurus is in love, there is no other person that they are loyal to in that way. And I don't feel like it was reciprocated or met in the same way, Taurus. And with this recent interaction or whatever has just happened, you are feeling heartbroken about it. And I think it's also about facing the reality of what this relationship brings. And there's so many chords I see between you and this person. This feels like a long-standing connection. Might even be lifetimes, past lifetimes. It doesn't even have to be this lifetime alone. But I'm feeling like this was a very, very deep connection. And there are a lot of energetic attachments to this person. You have been through a lot together. And it's okay to honor that. It's okay to honor the lessons that they brought in. It's okay to honor the love that you share, that you shared or share still. It's not that easy to just cut that off. But what you are realizing, I feel, is that this causes more pain for you than it brings safety, than it brings joy. And safety is very important for a Taurus. It's feeling physically safe in yourself, to be yourself. And I'm getting that that wasn't the case here. Just that scream of anguish. I felt like screaming on Sunday. The whole day I felt like there was this internal scream that just wanted to come out. Just the frustration at myself. The realizations, the deep, deep, deep pain that I was sitting in. And it is air energy, swords energy. So there's a lot going on in your mind about this as well, Taurus. But I think the important thing to do is, allow those thoughts to come in, but it's to sit in the feeling energy of it, because that is where the healing happens. To really embrace your feelings and to embrace how you are processing what has just happened, Taurus. I think with this energy, it's caused you to finally walk away. Because this has been such a long-standing relationship, the sense that I get is you keep feeling drawn back to this person. There's something nostalgic about the connection, about them, about the connection that you have. It is a very deep, powerful, emotional connection. But it doesn't mean that those connections aren't also sometimes damaging in the way that you both show up for each other. And this is not about blaming anyone. This is not about blaming yourself or the other person. It's just about recognizing that maybe you're not vibing at the same frequency anymore. And Taurus, you're moving towards your wish fulfillment, towards what makes you happy, the experiences, the things, the places, the people, the relationships that bring joy, that bring the sense of nostalgia, where there is a sense of reciprocation and where there's flow. Love is like water, which is very present in the Six of Cups energy. And we can't hold on to that on our own. It takes two people to provide a container for that. It takes two people to allow that flow, whether it's going to flow into something different or it's going to be held steady for each other. And that's the container, because water can go everywhere. And if there's no container, you're holding on to this with your bare arms. And that is exhausting. The container is also the masculine energy, and I feel like you've had to step into, whether you're male, female, however you identify, you've had to very strongly step into your masculine energy a lot of the time in this connection to hold space for yourself. And you deserve to be soft. You deserve to also receive and to be held, and not just to be giving. So that's what the Eight of Cups is about, Taurus. It's about moving towards the Nine of Cups, which is the card of wish fulfillment. It's about going into the subconscious with the moon being there. And the moon represents the illumination of everything that we tend to suppress or hide. Going into that and recognizing and honoring that. This is where you were at some point. There was a version of you that deeply loved this person, that deeply believed in the connection, and maybe still does. But where you are moving to now, Taurus, is a different version. And I strongly sense that the frequency between the two of you has shifted and has changed. You might have also felt this dissonance in the connection, but there's a version of yourself that wanted so much for this to materialize that you are now kind of questioning yourself. Is this the right thing to do? Is walking away the right thing to do? But you're protecting yourself, Taurus. You're protecting your emotions. And shame, I just heard shame. You protecting the way you show up in the connection. Sorry, Taurus, I'm just getting a lot of different downloads right now. I'm feeling like for a lot of you, it's also stepping into your sense of self-worth and self-confidence. Maybe in the past, with this connection, and we willingly allow that energetic drain, or allow ourselves to be shamed or put down emotionally, in whatever form that comes in, because of how we see ourselves. And your reflection of yourself, Taurus, lately has shifted. You are seeing and honoring the person that you are, and are not afraid to cut off and move away from anyone that does not honor that sacredness. I think what you are now not allowing is, for anyone that doesn't see you the way you see yourself, to move along. Or you are moving along, Taurus. And we only bring into our space what we are. So if we are feeling deep shame, deep rejection, not loving ourselves truly, not at a superficial level, then we will also be attracting that into our space, for it to reflect back to us and to show us the parts of us that still need loving, the parts of us that still need to choose ourselves, is what I just heard. It's not easy, Taurus, but I love that the Four of Swords card is here because, that's moving on from heartbreak. That is going within, sitting with clarity, taking some time, taking some space, sitting in the heartbreak, allowing it to just flow through, not trying to cut cords. That practice has somewhat resonated with me, but lately not so much. There are some connections where those cords might always be there. It's how do we integrate them? How do we learn to love them? You can still be bonded or have a bond with someone and not be with them in the physical world. That bond exists on so many levels energetically that, and especially if it's a connection that goes back years or lifetimes, that's not easy to untangle. Last night, I woke up in the middle of the night and I thought my blanket was wool. I was just untangling, trying to untangle my blanket. Then I realized, subconsciously, all these cords that I myself are experiencing with my person, there's so many. It's like it will take me forever to untangle them and cut them, and that's not something that I think I want to do. The message that came to me was, how do I integrate this? How do I learn from this? And I'm sharing that personal experience because it might resonate with one of you out there. And this message might not resonate with everyone, Taurus. So please take what does and leave the rest. I just want to get a card of clarity from the Rider-Waite and a closing message before I pull out some messages from your person. Flip the switch as well, Taurus. This could also be, and the Two of Wands is here again. So it came out in this deck, the bottom of the deck, and here it is again. Before I clarify or before I explain why this card is here, flip the switch on this message as well, Taurus. It could be your person that is experiencing this from you. It could be you that has been in the Knight of Wands energy, impulsive in your reactions or in your responses. And it could also be you that's now wanting to reconcile, because that is what the Six of Cups energy is also about. It's about reconciliation. So flip the switch on the story if you must, Taurus. The Two of Wands is about leaving behind an old pattern, an old choice, and looking forward to bigger horizons, more expansive horizons. And that's so in line with the Eight of Cups as well, Taurus, because Eight of Cups is also about traveling. You could be traveling, you could be just needing a retreat, a break, to come back to yourself, to recalibrate your own inner compass. But this is about making more expansive choices, Taurus. He's got the world in his hands. And he's leaving behind, the one that was typically the pattern or the person, type of person that you would choose. There's a shift in that way of being, is what I'm feeling for you deeply right now, Taurus. A big shift in that way of being and walking towards your world, There is so much more to experience, and sometimes we can attach all of our desires and beliefs and our need for love to one individual, and that's a lot of responsibility for that individual to take on as well. But it happens, when Taurus falls in love, it's not lightheartedly. And it's very easy sometimes. It's very difficult sometimes to let go of that. But you're ready, Taurus. I think you're ready to look at different opportunities, different options. The thing about attaching ourselves to a specific situation or person is that it also keeps us feeling stuck. Not feeling stuck, it keeps us stuck because we block out any other opportunities coming our way, whether that be love or growth or career or life choices are blurred out because all we can see is what we are wanting to see in this one person or the one situation. But your eyes are opening now, Taurus. Your heart is also opening. And that's what's also beautiful about the Three of Swords energy, is that your heart is actually opening up to new experiences and to something different. So Taurus, let's see what your person has to say to you, if they could, because what I'm getting is there is no communication, but a strong energetic bond. Love isn't always on time. Please be patient with me. I want to be there for you, there to take care of you. I want to dance across eternity with you. Wow. Okay, Taurus, there's a lot of love here. But again, is that consistent? Is that because, you moving away is taking away something that this person depended on but drained you of your energy? Or is it real? Are they really going to show up? Facing my reflection is more than I can handle. So this connection for your person has really shown them a part of themselves, I think, that they might not necessarily be willing to dive into. And so they could have disappeared and removed themselves because it's just too painful, it's too intense. You are the answer to my whole life. Wow. And that could just mean, when you have deep connections like this, Taurus, it's deep lessons as well. And that's the answer. It's the growth. It doesn't have to be the romantic answer. But in order for that person to also grow, how can I ever pay you back? Pay you back for, those lessons, the growth that this person is also experiencing. You are my dream come true. I am shocked at your existence. This could very well be a twin flame connection for those of you that resonate or identify with that. And twin flame connections are very much about the back and forth, the chasing and the retreating, or the runner and the chaser. I am entwined in the thought of finding you one day. I can never say it, but I do love you. So Taurus, if that resonated with you and you'd like a personal reading, my details are in the description box. But whatever it is you are going through, I'm holding space for you and sending you so much love. And this too shall pass. And there are bigger, more loving, experiences to be found, Taurus. Sorry, I keep on spacing out, but I just feel, and maybe that's what you need to do, is just take some time for yourself right now and nurture yourself. And just honor yourself for showing up and for doing the work, and honor the connection as well. Sending you love, Taurus.